You haven't been allowed. We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment.
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
To say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Except that there are disagreements.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers. Listen,
Don't
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards. It's going to be a tough deal to make. Because the attitudes have to change.
Welcome to Nature's Shadow. In today's video, we cover the shocking confrontation in the Oval Office, where President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance reportedly ambushed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. What started as a diplomatic meeting quickly turned into an unexpected clash. Let's break it down. In late February 2025, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the White House, anticipating discussions on a critical minerals agreement and seeking to bolster U.S. support amid Ukraine's ongoing conflict with Russia. However, the meeting took an unexpected turn when President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance confronted Zelensky in what has been described as a premeditated ambush.
If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 weeks. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Initially, the dialogue between the leaders appeared cordial, focusing on economic collaborations and the proposed minerals deal. Approximately 40 minutes into the meeting, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. President Trump accused Zelensky of insufficient gratitude for U.S. assistance and overestimating Ukraine's position in the conflict. Raising his voice, Trump asserted, "You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of
You
us."
have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers. Listen,
Please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards. It's going to be a tough deal to make. Because the attitudes...
Vice President Vance echoed these sentiments, criticizing Zelensky's approach to peace negotiations with Russia. The confrontation culminated with the cancellation of a planned press conference and the signing ceremony for the minerals agreement, leaving Zelensky to depart the White House abruptly and empty-handed.
To say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Except that there are disagreements.
You have to be thankful.
Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. But after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. What kind of diplomacy JD, you are speaking about?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes.
I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict. And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
In a recent interview with CNN's Christiane Amanpour, President Zelensky revealed details of his conversations with President Trump regarding Russian President Vladimir Putin. Zelensky stated that he conveyed to Trump that Putin harbors a fear of him, implying that Trump's stance could influence Russia's actions.
Did you tell, as was reported, President Trump, that Putin is only doing this and agreeing to talks because he's afraid of Trump? Did you tell him that?
Yes. I told Trump that Putin afraid of him. Yes, and he heard me. And now Putin knows.
The Oval Office incident sent shockwaves through the international community. European leaders expressed alarm over the apparent rift between the U.S. and Ukraine.
We have never seen anything quite like what happened at the White House today.
Today, Donald Trump irreparably destroyed the 80-year-old post-World War II international order.
An Oval Office ambush of an American ally that will reverberate all around the world and stain America's image for years to come.
That was, to say the least, the most contentious confrontation between world leaders perhaps we have ever seen, certainly on television.
It was a truly historic moment, not in the good way. One that I fear realigned the world order, upending the only foreign policy consensus that most living Americans and Europeans have ever known.
I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. What I saw is a complete transformation of what the United States is in the world.
Certainly was a day of shame for the United States. That clip, the footage of the Oval Office meeting, is going to be shown for years to come by politicians, government officials, historians, university professors, because it very clearly captures the moment when the Trump administration sent a signal that it was ceding America's traditional global leadership role.
I don't think it's hyperbole to say we as a country have never quite seen anything like this particularly appalling spectacle before.
Diplomacy is not negotiating in public in a spray. The more I see the dialogue, the more I feel like Zelensky was ambushed.
This was an absolute disgrace, and it will remain a disgrace in American history for many years to come. And it was obviously deliberate. It was obviously planned. This was not something that was spontaneous. It's not something that grew out of what Zelensky said, rather modestly explaining what had happened in the last few years. This was a mugging.
This will have massive consequences for global politics for decades to come. The American-European alliance is effectively over.
I admire President Zelensky, so I'm wondering what you thought when you saw the treatment that he received in the Oval Office on Friday.
I think, first of all, it's important every chance we get to lay out the facts as clearly as possible. In 2014, Russia chose to invade Ukraine, to occupy Crimea and parts of eastern Ukraine. For that, they were kicked out of the G7. And in 2022, they chose to violate the existing ceasefire and invaded Ukraine with the intention of taking Kyiv in 3 days and the entire country in 3 weeks. That has failed. Russia continues to try to fight to claim more land in Ukraine, and we could see an end to this war tomorrow if Russia decided to stop its illegal invasion of Ukraine. On Friday in the Oval Office, President Zelensky pointed out in so many words that Vladimir Putin is a liar and a criminal and cannot be trusted to keep his word in any way, shape, or form, because he has demonstrated time and time again that he will break any agreements. I stand with Vladimir Zelensky, and I stand with the people of Ukraine.
Friedrich Merz, leader of Germany's conservatives, interpreted the confrontation as a deliberate escalation by the U.S., suggesting it aligns with a broader shift in American foreign policy. The Kremlin responded with approval, viewing the incident as validation of its narrative that Ukraine is unwilling to engage in peace talks. Russian officials portrayed the clash as evidence of Kyiv's intransigence, potentially bolstering Russia's position on the global stage. Within the United States, reactions were mixed. Some lawmakers criticized the administration's handling of the meeting. Senator Chris Van Hollen remarked that President Trump's actions appeared to align more closely with Putin's interests.
The Ukrainians are more than happy to figure out how we can have a long-term economic relationship and where they can, over time, help repay America and our European allies, by the way, who, when you look at the total dollars, have also put in almost as much as the United States to help, repay them over time. But to sit there and say, if you don't sign this document within 24 hours, you can forget all of our support. I mean, that is extortion. And I will tell you, Vladimir Putin is having his very best days right now, as is President Xi in China, watching what's happening. This is a moment, Anna, where it's not just what the president says. This reflects what he believes. This is a president who said about American combat troops who died in the line of duty that they were suckers and losers. That's the mentality he's bringing to this whole battle in Ukraine.
Raising concerns about the direction of U.S. foreign policy. The contentious encounter between Presidents Trump and Zelensky underscores the complexities of international diplomacy amid ongoing conflicts. As Ukraine continues to seek support against Russian aggression, the evolving dynamics of its relationships with key allies like the United States remain critical to the pursuit of peace and stability in the region.
Thank you for watching Nature's Shadow. We invite you to share your thoughts on this developing situation in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more in-depth analyses of global events.